Hello and welcome to another of my top 5 Skyrim mods videos. Today I'm going to be going through my animation mods as it's something I get a ton of questions about how I manage them. Whilst this is going to be a top 5, I'm also going to throw in an extra 5 suggestions in the end of the video, and as always I will leave my mods in the descriptions below. Just a small heads up, I have changed my load order to come up with a smaller graphics set that makes the game still look good but doesn't take up all of the mod space. I intend on trying out bigger game-changing mods and DLC size things, so stay tuned for all of that in a later video. But with all that being said, let's get started. Up first we have the base mod. I use Dual Sun, specifically the one-handed version. This is the first mod in my animation order as it practically changes all the animations on its own, from idles, jumping, magic ignition and running, pretty much everything. It excludes the actual combat animation, but we will get to those later. The reason I put this one in first is so I don't overwrite the others, as it covers so much. Dual Sun is actually a combination of 4 other animation mods, so I feel like I'm cheating a bit here, but at 3.7 megabytes of a download in a single file, it's fine. The mods included in this package are Magic Casting Animation Overhaul, Pretty Jump Animations, Two-Handed Animations, and Pretty Combat Animations. The second mod in my load order is Mofu Combat Animations. I love this mod. I've briefly talked about it in my combat animations mod, but now I use it a little differently. I mostly love this mod for the forward leaping power attack on single-handed weapons, but it also covers every melee weapon in the game, so it's really worthwhile just grabbing this one. Mofu looks great alongside the unsheathing of Dual Sun, and it also fleshes out aspects missed by Dual Sun. Without being covered, Mofu is a very fluid, almost fencing style of combat. I felt like it didn't add enough weight to combat, so I actually cover this with another mod that doesn't overwrite the part that I really wanted, the lunging power attack. And at 833 kilobytes, I'm happy for it to play that role. With that being said, I'll move on to my third mod, Elfen Drago's Witcher Combat Pack, which replaces the animations for slower, heavier feeling swipes and slashes with a power attack that looks great and it's easy to use effectively, especially great alongside Jumpstart to add some real aerial dominance to your combat. But right now that's just not the point. If you use the cheat room to grab the 1.5 times weapon speed ring, you will feel like this animation set has really come together right. Worth noting that the pack also comes with spells, but I'm using this entirely for the animations. I may talk about the spells in a later video if that's something you'd all be interested in. The Witcher Combat Pack has changed most strike styles to something very familiar to those of us who have played Witcher, but for those who haven't, it's quick to learn, looks great, and at 1.2 megabytes it's totally worth a try. My fourth mod is Cross and Jab, a nice subtle hand-to-hand animation that is less flashy than the likes of martial arts animations with its kicks and flips. However, Cross and Jab does something most other combat animations can only dream of. It makes hand-to-hand combat more fluid, fun, and not as wild in terms of swinging. I recommend this to anyone trying to use unarmed combat for their playthrough. It comes in at 223.5 kilobytes and is worth it for the few storyline mission brawls that you have to do anyway. It will make those look far superior. I constantly lose track of my opponent whenever I'm in those brawls. This has helped me alleviate that problem massively. I highly recommend this one. My fifth and final mod is the Ultimate Dodge mod. I haven't removed this one from my load order since the moment I found it. I'm a huge advocate of this as it has many things it can do. The Ultimate Dodge mod changes the sneak mechanic to do a sidestep or dodge roll when in combat. Enemies can also take advantage of this, as they will most of the mods on this list. But what I found really cool is how modular it is. By using the spell Dodge Configuration, you can edit speeds, penalties, enemy AI, all sorts of tweak to perfect this mod for yourself. I, for example, always set the style to dodge roll only and opponents dodge infrequently. This feels the most fun for me, you may feel differently, and this mod allows for that. I'm a huge fan of changeable mods because they allow you to express the differences we all have. This is another mod that goes alongside Jumpstart really well, allowing you to roll mid-air for a controllable flip, or if you can time it right, if you roll on landing, it can make you feel like you're a free running expert. I will state this is my largest animation mod at 12 megabytes, but ignore that fact because it is one of the best mods available, and I don't mean just for animations. I'm now going to do just sort of a little speed round and throw out 5 more suggestions that all work alongside the other mods I've said. To start with, we have Jumpstart, which lets you take action mid-jump. But we also have YY Animations Y-Hander, which throws the sword over your shoulder during walking and idle animations, and YY Natural Jump, which puts you in a less T-posed jumping position. I also suggest throwing on stronger swimming animations, as none of the above fix the horrible vanilla swimming. And my final of the suggestions is Dynamic Combat, which changes the sheathing mechanic whilst in motion to do extra fluid, fast attacks that look great. If you couldn't tell, I love animation mods. They change up the core components of the game, and as such they always find a way into my load order. These are my top 5 alongside a further 5 suggestions, but I'd like to hear yours, so remember to comment with those below. If this has helped, as always, I appreciate those likes and subscriptions, but otherwise I will see you in the next one.